Hey everyone, today I'm sharing a story with you that will touch your heart. This is a story of love, separation, and reunion. If you enjoy emotional stories, make sure to watch this video all the way through. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you can keep getting more stories like this. So, let's get started. Hey everyone, today I'm sharing a story with you that will touch your heart. This is a story of love, separation, and reunion. My name was Ethan, 30 years old, working at a small advertising agency in Manhattan, New York City. But 5 years ago was different. Back then, I had Emily in my life. Our first meeting was in the university library. I was looking for F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, and so was she. Our hands landed on the same book at the same time. "You take it," I said. No, you were here first," she said with a smile. Finally, we decided we'd sit together and read it. That afternoon began a story that continued for the next 3 years. Emily understood my silence, and I believed everything she said. We saw reflections of our souls in each other. We spent countless afternoons in Central Park, sitting on benches, talking about everything and nothing. She was an English literature major at Columbia University. When she spoke, it was like someone had poured words into music. Those autumn days in the park, watching leaves fall, sharing coffee, laughing together, those were the happiest days of my life. I thought this would last forever, but life took a turn. Her father got a job at a big tech company in San Francisco. The whole family was moving to California, to the other side of the country. "Ethan, I don't want to go," she said, crying that last night, sitting in Central Park. "But you have to go," I wiped her tears, breaking inside myself. "We'll do long distance, right?" There was hope in her voice. "Yes, we'll try." But we both knew the 3,000 miles of distance, a 3-hour time difference. These things don't break love. They break the people in love. 5 years later, my office got a big Silicon Valley client. My company sent me to San Francisco for 3 weeks of presentations. Funny how fate works. My flight was delayed, and I had to spend time at a local coffee shop near San Francisco Airport. And there, at that little cafe counter, I saw her, Emily. 5 years later. But I recognized her like we'd just met yesterday. Her hair was shorter now, and there was a bit more maturity in her face. But the same eyes, the same smile. My heart started racing. The first 6 months, we really tried. Daily FaceTime calls, text messages, and long conversations at night. But the time difference, her new life, new friends, new commitments, everything started getting in the way. Gradually, our talks became once a week, then once a month, and then one day, just silence remained. There was no fight, no big argument. We just slowly faded from each other's lives, like a photograph fading in the sun. I buried myself in work, graduated, got a job, got promoted. But one corner of my heart always remained empty. Every evening I'd sit alone near the Brooklyn Bridge, holding my coffee, wondering if she ever thought about me. "Excuse me," I said, gathering courage. She turned. Her eyes first showed confusion, then recognition, and then something I couldn't understand. "Ethan." Her voice was full of surprise. "Yeah, I'm here for work." A few moments of silence. Then she smiled and said, "Sit down." We both sat, and at first the conversation was awkward. But gradually, the old comfort started returning. We began talking about our lives. She told me she now works at a publishing house here. She'd fulfilled her dreams of becoming a writer. She even had a new novel coming out. I told her about myself, my job, my successes. But what I couldn't tell her was that in these 5 years, I'd never loved anyone else. The next 3 weeks were the most beautiful and most painful days of my life. Emily showed me around the city. We went to Golden Gate Park, walking together like old times. We talked about everything we'd missed in each other's lives. We stirred up old memories, laughed, and sometimes fell silent too. It felt like no time had passed, yet everything had changed. I realized I was falling in love with her all over again. Actually, I'd never stopped loving her. One evening we sat by the ocean at Sausalito, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and purple. The Golden Gate Bridge stood majestically in the distance. "Ethan, I missed you so much," she said, her voice barely a whisper. My heart sank. Me too. But I thought maybe it was better this way. You were on the East Coast, I was on the West Coast. We both built our lives. Was it really better? I asked. She looked at me, tears forming in her eyes. No, I regret it every day, but now we've come so far. Your life is in New York, mine is here. But isn't love bigger than distance? The words came out of my mouth. She started crying. I couldn't hold back any more. I took her in my arms, holding her tight as she sobbed into my chest. "Ethan, I don't know. I don't know anything anymore." We stood there by the ocean, the waves crashing behind us, holding each other like we should have done 5 years ago, like we should never have let go. In that moment, I knew I had to make a decision. I couldn't lose her again. The night before I was supposed to leave, we were sitting in the same coffee shop where we'd met again. "I don't want this to end like this again," I said, holding her hand across the table. "I don't want that either. But what can we do?" I took a deep breath. "I can relocate here. My company has an office in San Francisco. I can request a transfer." Her eyes widened in shock. "Ethan, you'd leave New York for me." "Not for you, for us. Emily, it took me 5 years to understand that I'm not complete without you. I lived life, succeeded, but every success felt incomplete." Tears started flowing down her cheeks. "But what if it doesn't work?" she asked, fear in her voice. "Then at least we won't have regrets. We tried." She held my hand tighter. "I'm scared. I'm scared too, but nothing scares me more than living without you." That night we made a decision. We'd try again. I'd work on getting transferred, and until then, we'd make long-distance work properly this time. At the airport, before my flight, she gave me a small gift. It was a book. Her new novel. "I wrote this for you. Every word carries your memory." I read the title, Threshold of the Heart. "I'll be back soon," I promised, "and I'll be here. This time I won't run away." 6 months later, my transfer was approved. Today, when I landed at San Francisco Airport, Emily was there at arrivals. She was holding a beautiful bouquet of red roses, her face glowing with the biggest smile I'd ever seen. I walked towards her, pulling my suitcase, my heart pounding with excitement and joy. The moment I reached her, she dropped the roses and threw her arms around me. I held her tight, lifting her slightly off the ground. We were both crying, happy tears this time. "Welcome home," she whispered in my ear, and I realized that home isn't a place. It's a feeling. It's a person. And that person was Emily. After 5 long years of pain, regret, and loneliness, we were finally together again. Our story wasn't easy. We lost 5 years, shed many tears, made mistakes, but in the end, we found our way back to each other. Now, walking hand in hand through the streets of San Francisco, starting our new life together, I understood something important. Love isn't just about being together, it's about choosing each other, even when it's hard. It's about never giving up, even when distance and time try to pull you apart. We had our second chance, and this time we weren't going to waste it. We stood at the Golden Gate Bridge viewpoint, watching the sunset paint the sky in beautiful colors. Emily leaned into me, and I wrapped my arm around her. "Do you really think we can make this work?" she asked softly. "I know we can," I said with certainty. "Because this time, we're not giving up. We're fighting for us." She looked up at me and smiled. "I love you, Ethan." "I love you too, Emily. Always have. Always will." And that's what love is. Losing, searching, and then finding each other again. It's about second chances and never letting go. So, friends, that was today's story. If you enjoyed this story, please like it, share it, and definitely let me know in the comments how you liked it. And yes, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can keep getting more heart-touching stories like this. Remember, true love always finds its way back. Take care, everyone.